And so and what I share with the hundreds and thousands of drills that have went through is that when they're all gone, we're going to continue to be going through this. And as if you guys are going to see with the new administration, we're going to have to fight even harder, because what they're planning to do is to privatize tribal lands. So this is not over, it's just begun. And right now where we're at is we're into the intellectual battle now. We're into the legal, the court, and that's the new front line. And so I've been preparing for that, and the videos that we're showing prepares our viewers for that, our lawyers, our attorneys, our tribal leaders, our non-native and native relatives, the United Nations, and people around the world that have been standing in solidarity and participating in what's been happening at Standing Rock. But again, I remind all our relatives that this hasn't just been happening at Standing Rock. This has been happening throughout Indian country. And Indian country by us means the whole United States. The highways that you're on is the trails that we used to walk upon, travel upon. The medicines that are gathered are no longer there for us to gather. And my homelands is there's no longer a like to cut trout. So we witnessed in my lifetime the loss of our food source from corporate greed, special interests, military contracts, and things like that. Global change. And one thing I just, we've been saying this for a lot of years, and our elders have been saying it, is that when the earth is changing, when we're witnessing global change because we're connected to our food source, our traditional foods, and the land. That's how we know. So when they no longer start growing, the animals no longer start coming, and the water stops flowing, we know. So I'm gonna introduce our relatives here. I'll pass the mic around real fast, and then we'll start the video.
Hello everyone, my name is William Hawk. I've been working with Myron Dewey for the past 3 months, and all I need to say is that it's been an empowering movement, and it's been a beautiful, prayerful movement, and I'm proud and happy to be here in honor of my ancestors, my Lakota ancestors. Thank you.
Good evening. And me, Wanik, Shriela, Yakima, and Lummi. I first got to the camp back at the end of August, and I've had the privilege of working with all these individuals on this board here to be a part of this movement, and I'm just honored to be here, and I'm humbled that you can spend your time to be with us here this evening. Right.
Ijao Tugano, mi isho from Minani Anu Gad Karelu Gagwe, Biat Magaraju Ina Raymond Hoferer. Good evening, my name is Isha Hoferer. I'm from the Walker River Paiute tribe of the Walker River Indian Reservation in Shares, Nevada. I'm here to represent my people, my family, my kids, and me and Myron here are from the same tribe, so we kind of grew up just working on cultural events and the media, so he kind of was like my forefront of what I do now today, and we created a small collective media group called 1A TV, which you guys might have seen out there at Standing Rock. So we were just here to support our brother Myron and to show you guys that we're still out here to lend support to what happened at Standing Rock and what's going on in our own backyards. So we're here to represent, ourselves and our family and our tribes here. So thank you.
My name is Ernesto Burbank. I'm from the Teena Reservation, Teena people. We've developed this family, and I see my brothers here and my sisters out there, and all the warriors, and we build this unity, and from that, it's like just been this amazing journey. Set aside all the things that they try to impose onto us, the way they try to break us down, from defending the waters and the treaties and the rights of the lands, and it's hurtful because we all go through it in our own communities, and like you said, it's right in our backyards, and we represent our people. We went out there representing our people, and we created a family, and I'm appreciative of that, and I thank every one of you guys for coming out and supporting and just being aware of the things that are going on. So I'm honored to be here with you guys. I hope.
Hey everybody, my name's Sean Turgeon, also known as Prolific TheRapper. I'm a member of the Rosebud Sioux tribe. I'm also Mexican and white, and I'm happy to be here doing something positive with my life. And proud of all these guys and proud of all the water protectors, and glad to be here. Nice to see you guys.
We also have our women crew up here too that are filmers and just started a new Indigenous women's group along with a Native Youth Media group. And they're right here. You raise your hand, please. Ladies. It was important that when I get there that I continue the work that I was doing outside of Standing Rock, which was working with the youth, at-risk youth. And what I was seeing in camp was creating, just taking my work there into the camp. And also empowering our women, our Indigenous women, to be filmmakers and have access. That's what really we need, is access. And what is access? Access is having access to equipment, technology, software, hardware, the knowledge that we need to empower ourselves. But you know, this was a different and unique time when people were bringing access, and were bringing us kind of secondhand access. And I felt really bad a lot of the times. I tell these guys that were coming in from Hollywood, you know, this equipment is too big. It's not going to work, and let me tell you why. We're in a legal battle after this is done, and you're bringing a secondhand equipment that is going to actually set us back. And so everything we're filming with is 4K, the highest resolution, and we're able to blow everything up. And now the agitators that are in the crowd, Dapple that's been in the crowd, anybody that's causing problems, we can blow it up and catch them and protect ourselves. We're still here, the second decade of the 21st century. The difference is, not only do we know everything about you guys know nothing about us. And Dapple was surprised. Warren County was surprised. We weren't just a bunch of Indians. We were a bunch of Indians, except this was a different time. So this is where we're at today. We got cultural law protocols, we got Western law protocols, Indigenous law, human rights law. We've got all these different protocols that we incorporate into our daily life. It's just being Indigenous, being Paiute, being Shoshone, Washoe, Lakota, Navajo, Choctaw, Seminole. Every nation has their own laws, so it's becoming to do like Indian 101 and re-educating. And I just want to share with you guys, the way you're going to honor us is learn about us. We now have the tools for you to get online and share that, whichever tribe you go to, whichever tribe was here, to honor that tribe when you get there, to honor yourselves and your ancestors. Because what we're seeing with the broken treaty of 1851 is the forefathers, this current generation is not honoring their forefathers' promises. And that's what we're seeing right now. And so we need your help to help educate them, remind them that these promises were made all the way back from Lewis and Clark. They didn't honor their promises when they went through and visited all the tribes. They took and took and took. So now that reciprocity has come back, that circle is starting to heal. And I've seen it with the 550 churches that came through. I've seen it with the 4,000 veterans that came through. Many of our black relatives, our South America relatives, our Chinese relatives, all our relatives from around the world. And it's very powerful to see that healing circle come in and people share their stories, that they're not the generation of the Calvary, they're not the generation that causes atrocities. And they came to start a new beginning. And I want to share with our relatives out here that to give you permission to heal along the way as well. Many of you may have heard those stories, many of you may have been there, and many of you may have not. And it's important that we share that with you, that there is a generation, this generation, the seventh generation, that got to witness that global healing. So with that, we'll get started with the video. And then we'll open it up for any questions you guys may have afterward. Can we get the lights, please? I think it's important to educate yourself about the Indigenous people, the Paiute, Shoshone, and Washoe, Oklahoma, the Trail of Tears, Tecumseh, Sitting Bull. Your contribution will be when you start to see us fighting for the land, you'll understand why. Even if it's for clean water, as you see. Because for us, we're connected to the earth. And that's why we protect the earth where we're at.
protect our food source, our water, our medicines for future generations. When you're disconnected, like Dakota Access Pipeline is disconnected, they can desecrate the land with no consequence in their mind. But there's that spiritual consequence, that emptiness that they have. That's the consequence.
Excuse me.
And that's the result.
Thank you.
Passed away.
The water quit flowing through our rivers, and our lake is dying back home.
Right before I got here, I had a dream about my mom who had passed away. My dream, my mom had asked me for water that I wasn't able to give her.
What brought me to Standing Rock was the kids. The more I was there, the more I felt the need to be there.
Oh, you know what?
That's
It's
always
better
there,
over
so
here.
everybody just falls into what their gifts are, what they can offer.
The reason I came here was to protect the water, to protect future generations. I feel that it's my duty to stand up for the children.
Over 200 years ago, medicine was put into the ground here, and that's why we're winning. I believe that this time was prophesized. It's just that I believe that's the time that they talked about. They talked about a time when we would gather again here at this meeting place, and it would be in unity. I guess it's just in my blood memory, and I'd say overall that blood memory is really strong, and that's why I'm still here.
I had this calling to come here and to come in solidarity, come in prayer, and do what I can. And when we got here, I seen was lacking was filming from an Indigenous perspective, and our story wasn't being told correctly.
These are my ancestors' homelands. Those are the sites that are being disturbed, and it really irritates me. It really disturbs me that my ancestors' burial grounds have been desecrated.
I've worked in the media for several months now, and I've witnessed with my own eyes the beautiful things that have happened here. I've witnessed the healing. I've witnessed unmasked courage. You know, I've witnessed the brutalization of my people that I love. I've witnessed sheer terror.
We were all wounded and wounded. Just to get that dollar, treat us people can no respect the honor. Listen close, my friend, this is happening. Warrior, warrior, if you are alright, stand up like a mountain. Rise up from the earth, one love, one message. I know that we are strong in I drink the water. 7 generations are the sons and daughters. Gather all your friends, this is happening. Warrior, warrior, if you are around, stand up like a mountain. Rise up from the earth, one love, one message. I know that we are strong in spirit, and if you are the righteous, hear it. If you are around, stand up like a mountain. Water is life, life from the water. Water is life, elders they call us. Water is life, life from the water. If you are around, stand up like a mountain. Rise up from the earth, one love, one message. I know that we are strong in spirit, and if you are the righteous, hear it. If you are around, stand up like a mountain.
It's hard to believe that was just a little over a month ago. The bridge is still there. The barricade is still there. A lot of our relatives are there, both non-native, our native relatives from all nations. And this is just a small piece of a 2-hour piece we got put together. So, no, this isn't just an indigenous issue. This is a human issue that we're seeing happen here. And I just want to say, from the bottom of my heart, I want to say thank you guys for all of your solidarity and your donations and your time and what you've done to help in the movement and help make what we have right now in the resistance to protecting the water and the sacred land that the Dakota Access Pipeline is going through. 86 documented sites that have been desecrated, that are there, that have been desecrated, and they have it going in all 3 directions of the pipeline. So we got a lot of work to do, and right now, again, this is an intellectual battle. We have 586 that have been arrested, and they postponed the courts. They're violating the due process, the First Amendment, the Fourth Amendment, the Fifth Amendment, the Religious Freedom Act, the Geneva Convention by shooting the medics in the back, and people that were wounded. So this is something that's, as we keep continuing to go through the footage, it's really sometimes hard to watch as it's still real fresh in my mind what I'm witnessing. And when I see you guys and when I've been visiting around after being there for 5 months, I just want to say thank you guys for passing the message on when sometimes you don't think anyone's listening, and you continue to just keep going and keep going, even though you may not know. We've encountered stingray technology, data mining, drones at night, planes 24/7, the psychological warfare that they have, mercenaries on and off, National Guard. You've got agencies from all over the country that are participating in this as well. But we have seen officers on the front line that were crying. I've documented them crying. They've walked off the line. They've been talked to. They've been shared why they're there. And I just recently seen a video where a kid from Bismarck was talking to his dad on our side of the bridge, telling his dad that he had raised him and fished in these waters right here, that he was standing over the bridge. And it says, I know you're listening. I know you guys have the technology right here listening to us. And he was sharing with them, pleading with them that he raised him to be on the right side and what was right and what was wrong. And he says, this was wrong what you're doing. So these are the things that I have witnessed. I've witnessed the church, people of the church go to jail to stand up in prayer. This is not a protest. It's a demonstration of prayer. That is the difference. Now, if we were to go downtown and get a license and march, that would be a protest. This is something we've been doing every day since time immemorial, and we're sharing that with the world. Now, when you go there, you would pray in your own way. And if you got tree huggers, you pray that way too. So it's not telling us to pray our way. It's just showing you this is how we do it in the connection to the earth and why we know and we see and we feel with our Mother Earth what we feel when we walk through that land. So with that, did you guys have any questions? I know we got a short time and want to make sure that I answer.
How are your tribes back home and your families feeling now? How are they knowing that you're there? I know that they're all there with you, but knowing that you're doing something that could possibly get you all maybe in trouble, how do they feel knowing that you guys are maybe scared?
You know, it's almost, I feel like we're almost desensitized. We've been going through this for so long and fighting and protecting. From back home, it's the nuclear test sites on our reservation, around and near our waterways, the mining that's happened. We've got hit hard by the gold rush, the California gold rush. We've got some of our relatives that are no longer there. We only have the stories and the memories and the songs that they shared with us. And when we come forward to now, we're showing that this is a resistance of standing together in unity and love, and they're witnessing that. And they're witnessing that, yeah, my son, you know, his dad is there protecting the water for him. So I believe as long as we educate and empower our families, our friends, our community while we're there, then they cannot pigeonhole us on the other side, is what they're trying to do to all our relatives there.
Do you think the Wells Fargo bank exit is useful to you?
You know, this is about money, right? So I'm sure what, you know, rich people don't like to be poor. Yeah. Oh, yeah, it's been helping. I recently did, you know, took all my money out of the bank, and when I went back to the Reds, that's the only bank we had there. And so it was like, geez, you know, I had to get everything, you know, transferred over. I'm sure I'm going to get late fees, you know. So yeah, this is the choice we do, and you know, we are all a prisoner of our possessions. Because I'm sure some of you wanted to go and you couldn't. And when you're there, you feel free. It's the beauty of that, you know, to wake up and just, if you showed up during the summertime, you got to see. If you got there late, someone would help you with the tent. Someone would help you and show you where the kitchens were. You'd wake up to a song and a ceremony in the morning. There was almost really no want. The medical care, if you had children there, they got to go to school. And that's when Morton County was participating in the prayer. They were taking the medicine. They were sharing that circle. And they were dancing in the round dances. The moment they removed themselves is when it all changed. It was no longer like that anymore. And so we continue to send blessings and prayer that way to them, because we know they're listening. And I know they're listening, because they watch my page all the time, so I'm always saying good words to them. And if you guys see my pages, you know, when they come up and say, how you doing, Mr. Dewey? That was with FBI, that was with, you know, the people in the background, the DAPL security, those, they don't look at you, you know, and when I look at them, you know, I talk to their spirit. That's what I do. Because we all know if you got good energy and bad energy, you can feel it within each other. And that's what we do, just take them back to that basic love and just show them maybe what they've been missing.
I was talking to Ernesto, and I grew up near the Pine Ridge Reservation, and as a kid, we were just told, Indians over there, stay away from them, they're going to hurt you, they're drunk, they're all the things that were negative. And I'm just wondering to me, we're talking about several different things tonight, for sure, you know, sacred rights and water. What's the vibe from the Indian people, and how can we we can get white male and, you know, a native to come together, because that's where I see the breakdown. It seems like we've got plenty of female power behind that, or am I just misinformed?
Did you go to Standing Rock?
I didn't, but I was just telling Ernesto, I'm there this summer with my folks, and I was telling another guy here, my mom made peace with pie one day as I was a Girl Scout in our church, and a native man came in and he wanted a knife to kill himself. And here's my mom in our church with all of us little girls, and she told us to get back, and she told him, wait a second, and she went in and she was just rumbling through the kitchen, and she found this pie, and she came out and she said, here, take this, and he said, okay, and he left. But those are the kinds of experiences that I grew up with. My friends have been raped by natives, you know, one friend in particular, her car broke down on the way to the rest. But what do you see we could do to me, it's that male-to-male relationship that is broken down. I mean,
Well, the first thing is that you never made a trip to Standing Rock to experience that,
yeah.
and to debunk that feeling. The second is I don't see Indigenous people on the news every single day with murders, deaths, on the side of the street all the way here. I see our non-native relatives all the way through here, and I seen the homeless all along the way when we were just in Santa Cruz. I didn't run into one native along the way in poverty right there. And what we have is there's historical trauma. So it's Indian 101, educating yourself about the land you're on. So if I ask you, do you live here in this area? What tribe was here before you? So you would have to educate yourself to understand that you've missed out on the Indigenous history. And by that, that's why you're having this conflict. And when you hear this, it's not easy for our non-native relatives to understand that our Indigenous history was based off of murder, rape, genocide, systematic genocide, stereotyping, is what you were just sharing.
Well, now,
so when you, I
My
understand.
brother's best friend in high school.
I'm sorry,
Yes.
if I might, I don't mean to cut
Yes.
you off, but I would like to make sure we have time to have multiple questions from multiple
Yes.
people. This is good, this is why we're here, we need to.
So we can go on the side, yes, we can go on the side, and I can share with you. Many of you guys may know I'm a professor, I'm a historical trauma trainer with both our native and non-native relatives. But it is hard when they start learning about the history of our Indigenous people, because it's not a proud history. When we see the flag, these are the issues we're dealing with. When the flag was upside down, there was a reason. And when the vets came, they understood that it was a distress. So it's really doing the education. If you've been in the schools and the colleges, they don't teach it from an Indigenous perspective. You have an ethno-historian perspective. That is a non-native writing the history of our Indigenous stories and storytelling from our elders. So it's important that we educate ourselves. We have Native American universities now. You have Haskell Indian Nations University. You have Arizona State University with Native professors. And what we're dealing with Morton County is that exact same thing. You know what they try to do was the propaganda with, we were shooting buffaloes and horses with arrows. They put into a policy, we could not shoot arrows at planes. Invisible arrows. This is how powerful that medicine is. This is how powerful that train of thought is. We had to debunk press release after press release after press release. Exactly what you're saying. The stereotyping along the way wasn't easy. And Bismarck was believing it, and they did not ask us. And we can show a lot of those videos where they said no one was hit with percussion grenades. No one went to the hospital. All these things that we did not shoot anything into the crowd. We showed all those things that you guys witnessed. And it's continuous. Now, I can't speak and say that didn't happen, what you're saying, because it has happened. But the historical trauma on our Indigenous people is fresh, because it's been terror for the last 500 years for us. And what you're witnessing here at Standing Rock is a repeat of history starting. And we need to get in there and stop it so we don't have those stories in our families. Thank you for your comment.
Myron, your companions up there, traveling around, face to face like this. Really deeply appreciate that. And so what I want to speak to is, what are you, and perhaps some of your companions, certainly we have a sister here in this crowd, that are facing legal ramifications. And so where are you at? And please keep us informed, because I, send in prayers and all like that. Where are you at with your legal stuff?
Well, thank you
Where are
for
we at
asking.
with that?
So we have, many of the water protectors have felonies. They started out as trespassing misdemeanors, and as when I said the due process was violated, they took them up and escalated them to felonies. And so this is when it was very peaceful at that time, but again, they were violating many laws and rules along that way. I got stalking one of the mercenaries, and if you guys see them, how they look, I don't think he was scared, but he said he was in fear of his life. And so, I didn't get close enough to be face to face. Yes, it was the camera documenting him. The drone documented him. This is the first time we started being able to use consumer technology, drones, as environmental justice and civil rights justice and following through. During that time, Prolific was shooting a video, and he also got charged sharing his story about how the injustice was happening with the officer trying to take his drone. And he was charged with what I call a Facebook felony. And now our relatives out there, both our native and non-native relatives, are getting charged with Facebook felonies. And so we're gonna close out. We're gonna show we're gonna show his video, and then I'll let him explain what he's got to go through now with the felony, the $100,000 bond that they had issued at that time, and how it affected him.
Is there support?
Yes, we got support. Let me just bring him up here to have him explain it real quick. We do got support. I got support. Whatever support I got, I'm going to bring to my team and anybody that I can to help them. The support we need is people that help articulate the statements. Again, if somebody is demonizing you right off the bat from something else, that's how they're going to project it, and that's what's happening. So who went to Standing Rock? Did you go there to be a terrorizer? We went because we were drawn because of the commonality of water. Water is life. So I'm gonna let Prolific give a real short statement and share with you his thoughts, and then we'll show his video that he's getting the felony for.
Yeah, I'll talk about that real quick. One of the things I wanted to add to what Myron was explaining to you, the history, the historical trauma. After Dakota Access went and found the sites, when the tribe identified their sacred sites, Dakota Access leapfrogged 15 miles ahead with attack dogs and mace waiting, and dug extra wide and extra deep to destroy specifically those sites so that there would be no evidence. After that happened, the people were hurt, and I personally walked with them to that site, and there was spiritual leaders there, and I looked around in a circle, and they had us all holding hands. They told us all to hold hands, and I remember I was next to two big men. It was kind of awkward. I'm holding their hands, and they had us pray together and sing together, and they said, Creator doesn't look at your skin color. Creator looks at your heart. And they said, look around at all of us, and we're all here together. And when I looked around, I saw people of every single race. The only people I didn't see at that moment was people from the Middle East, but there was Islander, everybody was there. And we were holding hands, praying together. You just asked, how do we prevent this from happening? When I was standing there in that circle watching, I thought to myself, this is the solution to the world's problems. This is it right now, what they're trying to show us. Right? And it comes from the spiritual people, from the indigenous people. And they hold that knowledge, they hold that. But we haven't been allowed to heal, because you can look at Standing Rock as an example. They came out and showed us something good, the way the world should be, and people in camp were getting along. Everyone, I remember it, there's every race, and people were just together, smiling at each other. no hatred, no bad feelings towards the police because they hadn't escalated at that point. But because of money, they crushed it. They tried to. They're trying to crush this movement. They're trying to crush the truth that we're trying to put out, the healing and that's been going on since the beginning. So if America would be honest with itself and say, we've done things that are bad, things that are terrible, and that's okay, because we're gonna learn from it and we're gonna move forward together. But the society keeps being lied to, manipulated, and it's for money over and over and over. The natives are savages, they're heathens, they're godless. Let's take their land. The African Americans are African people. They're this, that, and we're gonna use them as slave labor. We're gonna push all the Latinos out. We're gonna do all these things and these justifications, but it's always for money. So when we as the people stand up and stop allowing ourselves to be manipulated, stop believing the news, because who is the news owned by? People who want money. And I guess it's time to start this music video.
And death rides on 4 horsemen, a black snake with some black tanks. How much money do these companies need to make? They can drop their product, but they wanna save a buck. Already extracted billions, when is enough? I used to be in the oil fields, getting paid, but I quit, cause oil water I can't drink. Look down and see Kamimi La die in the mud. I looked up and told myself that enough's enough. Money does not own my soul, living comfortable. It's not in my plans, my hands in the sand. Some things were more than gold. Some things they can't be sold. Some things can be replaced. She is your mother, the fresh water is her veins. What is going on? Have we all lost our minds? Every human needs clean water to survive.
We're sorry. Your call cannot be recorded. Martin County Sheriff's Department.
Hi. I need to report an assault.
Okay, where did it occur at?
Standing Rock. There are innocent, unarmed people being attacked with water and militia-style police firing at point-blank range with high-powered mace on unarmed people. Who protects the people?
Ma'am, yeah, if there's police there, then it has
The police are the ones attacking innocent, unarmed people. So what do we do to stop the police literally hitting people at point-blank range in the face? People can lose eyes. People are going to get hypothermia. People can die. We have elders here. We have children here. We have all ages here. Nobody is armed except for the police. Who protects the people from the police?
Well, I guess if you want to put it up the chain of command, the next person to talk to would be the governor's office.
Love is the strongest, this path is the hardest. But if we were strong enough to do it, we wouldn't see it. Our prayers would not be needed. This movement's very needed. Indigenous wisdom unheeded and sacred things depleted. I'm Mexicano, Malakota, and I'm white too. I'm mixed with everyone, so part of me's just like you. Every group of human beings shares the same stars. And if the earth is not your mother, are you from Mars? Since 1492, 500 years and counting. Surviving the genocide. genocide they call colonizing my turtle island. What is the fossil do? Continue destruction, nothing new. Living the system, taking my children, shipping the fields till nothing's true. I had that money in front of me, but I left it. Cause oil money's dirty if my mother gets disrespected. We're disconnected, these times are hectic and feeling heavy. But still we love all living beings and suffer for the many. We are peaceful people, that's why we walk with prayer. And if that wasn't true, we wouldn't be standing here. We're peaceful people, we walk with prayer. Turtle Island, have no fear. Despite what they show in the media, we're kind people, hold your ground. Change is coming now.
Don't forget the women back here. The women have been behind everything, in front of everything. If it wasn't for these women, all the strong women at camp, we'd be having a rough time. It'd be rough. I don't really want to talk too much about my case because I think we're running out of time, are we? Do we have time or is it? That's it? Okay, so.
We have one more panel. Basically, I can't think of a more standing rock thing than to kick our panel with white people till later and have you guys truly. I mean that from the bottom of my heart. Thank you for being here, but I'm hopeful that one or more of you will stay and we're going to talk about what's going on locally. So.
Yeah, we can get to a Q&A afterwards, huh? I'm not going to talk about my case, really, just that they're lying. You know, they said I tried to fly into a plane to take it down, and I was endangering the crowd as I was flying over them because the drone could have failed and hurt them. Yet they're shooting down drones. I don't understand that, right? But anyways, that's all I want to say. And
you have a good lawyer?
Yeah, I'm working on it. Yeah. Morton County's watching, so I gotta be quiet. Thank you guys, and thank you. From these guys.
Just like after the past few weeks of us coming back from camp, you know, we're still trying to transition back into normal life, but what is that now after this time, you know? That, you know, some of us were just relying on our jobs, worrying about, you know, bills, insurance, things like that, but, you know, our eyes were awakened, or were opened at that time. So you see us all here together, you know, I don't think most of us would be here standing together if we didn't go, you know, but, you know, it brought all of us together. We're all here together. We all did something that affected our world, our Mother Earth. Yeah. And that's by don't even having to use these so-called corporations or companies or these major media outlets. We did it, us, right. As one nation, as one mind, one heart, one prayer. You know, every single one of you guys that shared these guys' live feeds. Every day you guys called the governor, the governor, you guys called the White House. You guys are tweeting, you guys hashtagging every day, you know, that the world and what we did was incredible, and it's still incredible. We're still showing the world what's going on. We only are giving you guys just a little taste of what we need to really give you guys, because we've experienced so much out there. You know, we could sit here all night and just tell you guys stories upon stories, or, you know, things that were going on at camp, but, you know, we have time, we still got, you know, things we got to do, you know, in the near future, you know, to keep moving this forward, this movement. So, like I said, humbly from the bottom of my heart, thank you guys for sharing and being here tonight, you know, supporting each of these guys' legal funds, or, you know, whether they were traveling to get supplies, or, you know, just commenting, just giving them that support, you know, there's even that on that live feed, when we see something inspirational or positive, it just gives us that much hope that you guys are watching for us. We're all here together. So thank you guys.
Okay, so they said to keep it short, so I just want to say that, you know, watching the video, it just brings back so much feelings, I guess, of what took place November 20th, October 27th, and Labor Day weekend of 2016. And in my eyes, that's just a small glimpse of what our people suffered throughout the generations. You know, it's just a small glimpse of what our people have been through. And, you know, I want to thank you for sharing that and for talking about it and for raising that awareness for what this stands for. This is just the beginning of something bigger than the Standing Rock. It's just the beginning of something bigger than the Dakota Access Pipeline. And if we can continue to support one another and pick each other up and learn from one another, you know, this is going to go a long way. What took place in Standing Rock changed the direction of a multi-billion-dollar company, and that wouldn't have been possible without you guys. And this is family. This is what we are. It's not about the color of our skin, where we're from, a family name, and like Myron said, you know, this is our spirit. So I just want to thank you, the people again, and the brothers and sisters that are standing here and that are still at the Rock. Thank you.
Yeah, it was a mission, you know. A lot of us, when this prayer was sent out, you know, how it started, and that's just the power of what we talk about, spirituality, of prayer. You know, we all have it, and this prayer was done, and this prayer was so strong that the magnetic field that it went into was throughout the world, and people felt it. You know, time and time again, people have in the camp. You know, you share stories, you get to know each other, and a lot of people have similar stories. I got up and left and just quit work. You know, came out here. I knew I was supposed to be here. You know, and that's how the world works with prayer, with connection of energy. You know, and that's the biggest example of what love can do to this earth. It united so many people throughout this world. It was ridiculous. Like, we were like, one day we were at camp with only so many teepees, you know, and then we looked around and it was just crowded. I'm like, where do I get my coffee and my fried bread now, you know? But no, in all reality, I appreciate all you guys. We all do, you know. This movement is not possible without the people, you know, and it's been too long where they've been draining the power of the people to empower themselves. So what we represent, and I'm not just saying the guys up here, I'm talking about everybody in here, if you really truly believe it, you know, what we represent is that change in the world of empowering the people, because the thing that we're missing is the empowerment of ourselves, and that is a relationship to the earth. We're stewards of this earth. You know, we have a simple job to do. We've neglected it. We've chose to be blind to it. We've chosen to accept the illusion. We deplugged ourselves, you know, through this prayer. And yeah, a lot of people didn't understand why we were standing so strong. It wasn't just a Native American issue. It's a worldly issue, you know. We're gonna stand our ground, you know, because that's what we have to do. I have to show the next man how willing I am to be in the field with him. I have to trust him. All the females that were in that water with me, my sister was in that water with me, you know, and they're spraying us down. It didn't affect me because I knew that their love carried me through that. You know what I'm saying? And that's the power. If you take those examples of all the things that they try to put onto us and try these tactics and all these tactical games they play. You know, they try to break you down spiritually, they try to break you down mentally, they try to break you down all the way. But one thing is, they couldn't do it. You know, we're still here, we're still moving, we're on this earth, we're not giving up, we're not going nowhere, you know. And that's why I appreciate everybody and all their prayers. We receive them, we appreciate it, and we feel them, most of all. And we give it back to you guys, because that's how the world needs to work, is just with love.
I want to say thank you to each of you for coming here this evening and for listening to what we have to say. And we're going to be here afterwards to hear if you have anything to share with us. But real quick, I just want to say something that's been common that we're hearing up here is that love. And 150, 200 years ago, my ancestors, they fought to protect us today, but they also fought for that love that we have today. So that love survived all the way into our generation. And we're going to fight to protect that love that we have for our people and all people of all color around this world, of all nations. That's who we are. This is who we are. We're protecting that love. And that love is protecting us and carrying us and keeping us strong and keeping us focused on what we must do and what we need to do. But again, thank you so much. Did you want me to share a song? Later. Okay, so we'll go ahead and just move forward. Oh yes. So we have Salina here. Salina, come on up. She's a mover and shaker. She gets a lot done behind the scenes. She takes care of a lot behind us. Here you go.
Short and sweet, my son here. I just wanted to represent that, you know, a lot of people went and struggled a lot to be at Standing Rock. You know, it's not easy to try to keep your home or your job or your life together or your kids, you know, taken good care of. But somehow, you know, the community will back you up and support you. My family comes from is indigenous to Mexico. There are prophecies about the eagle and the condor and the people from the south coming together. And it is really beautiful to watch not only the people from the southern tribes coming to Standing Rock and having all of this healing happening for the indigenous people of the whole continent as it's been prophesied will happen at this time, but internationally what's been going on. So, you know, it just, there has been this stirring and awakening that has happened for so many people, and I just ask that if you're feeling that, and you feel that every day, to wake up and acknowledge that. You know, what you pray with water, you know, wake up in the morning and think about how many people are looking for water every day. You know, and connect to that prayer that we have all to come together. It doesn't matter where you come from. We all have indigenous blood. We all have indigenous spirits that look over us, this land here, and just learning the story about the land that you live on. You know, this is the Chumash ancestors for this land. And the story that happened in California is really harsh because, you know, by the time they got here, the killing machine was so advanced. So when they came to California, it was very thorough, it was very quick, it was very harsh, and there wasn't a lot of warrior tribes in California. It was more peaceful here. So really learning that history and making that a part of the way you are and the way you look at things, and decolonizing all the aspects within your community, within your life, within your family, and just kind of the things that you take as real history that are not history. You know, and you never know when you're gonna someday follow an intuition and go somewhere and it's gonna change your life from the people that you meet. So it's done that for me, and that's all I want to say. But I'm also, you know, I just basically, I wasn't doing media, and now I'm doing media because we all have a voice, and we are the media. We can't rely on people that are not thinking of our best interests and just trying to delude us and put us in directions to keep us distracted in purchasing, being a consumer, or all of these other things, and just kind of running along on the treadmill. You know, when we all of our stories matter, and the things that we see are evident, and that we are the change that we've been waiting for. So my media is the Sacred Movement. You can find it on Facebook, and I'm also learning from Digital Smoke Signals and all of these amazing people there. So thank you.
Hi, my name is Teena Pugliese. I came out to Standing Rock. I thought I was going to be there for 5 days with a team from Los Angeles to produce some content and kind of share the message from the world and to the world. And I'm an editor, I'm a producer editor, and also shooting. So I was shooting, I was going and editing all the content, and I met Myron like one of the first days I got there was the day after the 20th when everything had happened to everyone. And the second I met Myron, it was like Source downloaded something into me, and I was like, I have to work with this person. And he's getting the message out, and I've felt bad working in film because it's so self-indulgent sometimes, and I wanted really badly to work on something that meant something to me, and I felt like I was actually doing something in the world. And Myron came in and sat and watched one of my edits one night that was going to be released with this Los Angeles company, and I'm shaking. It was a 3-hour moment I'll never forget, and I learned so much about my ignorance, and I just wanted to stay and learn forever. And I kind of did. Well, I was there for a month and a few days after that. My team left and I stayed and worked with this incredible group of people. And just every day I felt like I grew a little and my DNA shifted. I'm not kidding, I'm a different person. I'm a completely different person now. It's beautiful because of these people. And I'm learning more because of these people. And that's not their job to teach us. It is our job to go out and search for that. But I think it's important that we stand up for the water protectors more than ever right now. It's not over. Somehow everyone thinks that the black snake is dead. It's sleeping. We have to stay strong. Prolific's facing 7 years for flying a drone over a crowd. They're bullying everyone. They're bullying people out there. And I'm just so proud and thankful that you guys all came out and continue to spread the word, continue to share digital smoke signals content. And I pray that I get to continue to work with them forever.
Hello, my name is Nikila Badua. I'm from Oahu, Hawaii, and mixed heritage, a Pacific Islander, European, Turtle Island. And first I want to just give thanks to all of you and to Myron. I call him Big Papa. He takes care of us. He just takes care of us. I originally came to Standing Rock with a woman named Wahela Johns who started a project called Native Renewables. And we came there, we brought the actor Mark Ruffalo and the Solutions Project to promote renewable energy. And Native Renewables had been bringing out solar rigs to help put the camp on renewable energy. And you know, the message of this project, of what she's working on, is bringing renewable energy to all reservation lands throughout the country. And that's, I guess, you know, if I'm going to share anything, is some of the feedback that I hear from people who are part of the tribal council and who've been out there Standing Rock. Is like, you know, looking to the future. How are we going to move forward? And some of the feedback I hear is like to invest into indigenous lands. If you are part of a charity, a foundation of some sort, it's something to just kind of keep your ears open about. And there are projects happening right now, there's trainings happening right now to prepare more reservation lands to look to renewable energy because, for example, Wahela is from the Navajo Nation, and there, even though Navajo Nation powers, like, you know, Las Vegas, parts of, I think, Los Angeles, parts of Utah, 50% of the communities there on the reservation do not have power. So we need to create more balance and just learn more about renewable energy in Indian country. And that's all I'll share right now. Thank you.
Hi, my name's Keith Picotte. I'm from the Walker River Paiute tribe. Same res as my brother Myron and my brother Isha up there. You know, basically being up there gave me a better insight on us as an indigenous people and us as human beings. You know, like we've learned from each other that, you know, like everyone has been saying, it don't matter what color you are. I mean, look at the diverse crowd we got right now. You know. That love is always there, and that's one thing I found out when I first got there, because when me and my brother Isha went up, we didn't have no one to really like stay with to, you know, take care of us up there. We were just going up there just to, you know, show our support. And when we got there, you know, everyone took care of us and everyone showed us that, you know, you're welcome here. You're our family just as much as we're your family. So that love is always there. Like, just people will always take care of you. People are always going to be willing to do what they have to help you. And that's everywhere. It's, you know, the world's a bad place, but there are those people out there that will do what they have to take care of you, and they'll do what they have to protect you as well. And that's one thing I wanted to go up there and do, was protect our people, because I didn't have no plan on what I was going to do. I didn't know if I was going to be media, going to be security, just, you know, maybe I'd be in the kitchen or something, but I went up there just to do what I had to and help out where I could. And, you know, I ended up where I wanted to be, like, as a security, and that's what I really liked about it, was taking care of the people, protecting them, watching over everyone, middle of the night, staying up all day, like all night, just to watch the gate, make sure no one came in, make sure no one got hurt and all that. So, you know, with that, like, just gonna just reiterate it again, you know, love, just the love around here and from the people you know and everyone around, like, it'll always be there. And you just gotta look past everyone's, like, faults. You know, everyone has their faults, but, you know, just look through and find the good in someone, like everyone, because, you know, like, everyone, we're all human. We all make mistakes, and there's nothing that can change that. And that's what this life's about, is learning from our mistakes and moving forward and past it. I mean, that's what I learned when I went up there, is, you know, you can be in the wrong, but still you gotta show them the love and respect, because they're still learning. They don't have that understanding of what really to do. And just pray for them and always just stay in prayer. That's basically what I just want to say right now. Always stay in prayer and love everyone you know, even the people you don't know. If you don't like someone, love them anyway.
Before we close out, I think it's important to share that it's important to forgive what you're witnessing, what we have done as Indigenous people, atrocities, what we have witnessed, and those same things and atrocities in history that you have witnessed and shared. And it's important to let that go, because if you do not let it go, it'll affect your body, it'll affect your spirit. You don't ever forget, you just forgive. And you role model those teachings. And when you role model those teachings, the next generation is going to be taught a little bit different than our generation. And so we are the prayers of our ancestors that we're praying for. This is all of us here. So take that moment, and if you don't know how, go out and seek it. Go out and find someone that you know that has it. And know that our ancestors and relatives are here today. And it was hard for me, but when I witnessed that the church was there, and they came and they denounced the doctrine of discovery, it was very powerful. Because that is the historical trauma for an Indigenous people. That is the stories that I heard my grandma talk about, my uncles, my aunties. And I was the last generation in that boarding school. So those are fresh in every single one of our children across the country. So we all had hurt. We all had pain. And that doesn't mean mine is stronger than yours. So when we say that in a good way, you know, let it heal in your spirit and let it go. But don't ever forget. But don't repeat it either.
Yeah, I have a million, billion things and people to thank, but right now the feeling I have is to thank Myron, because not only has he done a lot and taught us a lot, but he's also bringing us with him and empowering us, and you know, letting us speak. And he made a platform for us. So thank you, Myron, for everything you do, and ask everyone to clap for him, because he's
William, There is no wrong way.
Well, thank you so much for letting us squeeze these people in. I don't even think that begins to explain what just happened. I actually spent a week at Standing Rock, and I still am moved every time in a different way. Every time I hear other people's stories and see more of the footage. You can't possibly see it all in that time. I'm hopeful that summer all of you will stay up here. We're going to have some of our locals speak and share a little bit about what's going on locally. And I'm hoping that you can help to inspire us further. Maybe hearing a little bit about what we're doing and giving your thoughts. So while we're doing our raffle, this will be just straight to the point, this last session. I know we've had a marathon. This was a treat. We didn't know they were going to be here till yesterday. So thank you all for sticking the evening out with us. You know, and does anyone really